We are about to do a live interview. What's up? We are about to do a live interview here with Baxter. Here we go. It's going to happen any second now. Let's see, he's going to be joining in just a second. He said he's on the gram. He's going to share everything, what he was sentenced for, what happened, and how he's a free man today. We're just waiting for him to join right now. 1 second here. Just give me 1 second. He said he was on here. There he is. We are going live. He's going to tell his story, what he was from start to finish.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
All right. How y'all doing?
Dude, well, I'll speak for myself. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Recovering from this little ACL surgery.
Oh no, just related to what?
Don't ever lift a big girl on the dance floor.
Oh boy. Noted. Noted.
It was, unless you've been in the gym, been doing your squats and all that stuff you're supposed to do, I was out of shape, and the alcohol made me think I was in better shape. So, yeah.
Uh-oh. So let's jump to it, the where, the when, the why, and then the some information you can give on the law, what you potentially learned, and how people can avoid these kind of situations.
Okay. When you say the where, when you're talking about my personal where, when, and why?
Yeah, totally.
Or just in general?
No. You.
Well, some new people here haven't heard my story, huh?
Yeah, pretend like no one's heard it. Exactly.
Okay, so and now I'm not at the shop. I can speak a little more freely. I had a customer there, and I didn't want him overhearing too much.
No,
because sometimes
Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. He said it was a great testimony, but there were certain things I wanted to say that I couldn't say because, I was in the streets. I was selling drugs. I was in a life of, being in the streets, doing all of that. So, 2002, I got arrested. I 2002, right? Am I breaking up?
No, you're good now for a second, but I think it's good.
I'm on a Wi-Fi. I can take it off and go on a regular, and let's see if that works better because you were kind of cutting in and out too. Let me see.
All right, please stand by while we change some Wi-Fi situation. Oh, shit.
All right, are we good?
We are good.
All right, yeah, I got full bars. I'm good. Okay, so 2002, I took a gun from a security guard. I tried to take off running. It was a short-lived little spree of crime that it was supposed to happen, and I got caught immediately by the helicopters and went to jail. I was 19 years old. It was my first time getting in trouble. My family, we paid $3,000 to an attorney to represent me. I was very depressed. I was going through some emotional trauma and stuff like that because I got put out the Army before I achieved my goals for being a young, dumb kid. And I stole 2 CDs from the store, and they're like, you're too immature. You need to get out, wait a couple years, and then come back. And in between that time, I got in trouble. So I took the gun from the security guard, took off running, got caught by the helicopters. When I got caught and we paid that lawyer that money, so I'm supposed to get, he said, waive your preliminary hearing, which I always advise people who are going to fight their case, never, ever, ever waive your preliminary hearing. And so that's like automatically pleading guilty without pleading guilty. And so you don't want to do that. And so I think in other states it's kind of like a grand jury convening to see if there's enough evidence to bind somebody over for trial. But we waived the preliminary hearing to lock in this deal for 4 years without objection to deferred. Deferred sentencing means that after the 4 years probation is complete, the felony will fall off of my record and I can go re-enlist in the Army or do anything because I wouldn't be a felon. Because it's your first time. They know people make mistakes. People do stupid things when they're young, and they're going to give you a chance so that in case you mess up, now you get this time to prove, do you really want to correct your mistakes, work on your life, and go forward? And that's what a deferred sentence is. Or if you mess up during probation, they're like, okay, you want to keep fucking up. You don't want, so we're not going to be nice and take this felony off of you. I wasn't afforded that opportunity. I waived my preliminary. I did the 4 years, locking that deal for 4 years. And when it was time for sentencing, the judge was going to give me probation. I'm smiling at my parents. Like, I'm about to be getting out today. Da, 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 da. She was just going through it. And she sentenced everybody on the chain. Like, we had the chain. Everybody's cuffed to the same chain. It's like 8 of us. She's like, boom, 6 years, boom, 4 years, boom, 8 years, boom, 10 years. Everybody on the chain got sentenced. My mom break down crying in the courtroom. My dad walked out. He didn't want me to see him crying, of course. He walks out the courtroom, and I'm a convicted felon, and I'm stuck with that for the rest of my life.
And what state are you in?
Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Somebody says here, did you jump the security guard or how did you take the gun? No, I didn't jump him. I actually kind of tricked him out of it. You know, I told him there was something in the bathroom. You need to go check it out, make him feel like he was a hero. This was right after 9/11 had happened. So everybody was on high alert, high terror alert. He went in the bathroom. I pushed him up against the wall. I said, take the gun out. Give me the gun. Give me the gun. Give me the gun. No, I'm giving the gun. I said, you lucky I left the knife in the car. I was going to stab you if you don't give me the damn gun. He was like, and we're in there for a long time. And so it's like longer than when you're trying to rob somebody of a gun it should take. We're in there. I'm like, okay, well, if you're not going to give me the gun, you shoot me. And so he's like, okay. And he started pulling the gun out because when he started pulling, I said, give me the gun so I can kill myself is what I told him. Because he wasn't going to do it any other way. So when he was like, no, you got a lot to live for, blah, blah, blah. He started pulling the gun out like he's going to really shoot me. I'm like, whoa, I grabbed the gun. Like, oh, this guy really going to shoot me. So we're wrestling for the gun, and then I bended out his hand. He falls to the ground, and I got the gun. And then I tried to leave the bathroom, but I was running so fast, I had the gun in my hand, and I didn't conceal it and hide it, and that's when police get called and all that stuff. So that happened, and I went to jail, and so, like I said, I ended up getting 4 years in prison. I did 13 months total because of good behavior, and I completed a program or whatever. I get out as a convicted felon. Now, this is my experience in learning the law to get to the stage where I'm at now. So, when I couldn't get any jobs when I got out. McDonald's wouldn't hire me nowhere because I had a charge of pointing a weapon from taking a gun from him. And when we wrestled for the gun and all this stuff, they charged me with pointing a weapon. My attorney, a paid attorney, not a public defender, paid attorney, did not do anything. He did not try to fight for me. He did not try to prove that I never pointed this weapon at anybody. He didn't try to do anything. People always think public defenders are no good and paid attorneys are better. They're all the same. They are all the same. They're all people who went to law school, passed the bar exam, and now working in some law firm. The public defender's office is a law firm. If they work for their own they sell for a big time firm. It's the same. The only difference is that will that individual who is supposed to represent you work hard on your behalf? Do they have the time, the energy? Do they care enough about you and your individual case? They're there to make money, right?
Right.
They're there to make money. A paid attorney is already paid, so what does he have to work for if you pay him the money up front? It's like, okay, well, let me go in here and make a deal for you and brush you along the way.
And they
And
can't
so
and they can't
anyway,
promise anything, and they can't do like contingency based fees where it's like if we get you off, you pay more. It's like none of that's even legal. So
no, it's not legal.
right,
And once the case is over, the person is not going to come back and pay you anything extra. It's over and they're gone. You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
So that's why they get paid up front. And so but the thing is that what I train people to do, because I started my Baxter and Baxter legal life coaching, what I train people to do is how to energize your attorney to work for you in the best of their abilities. Because they're like, they just don't do it, man. So I just told you about the paid lawyer. We're gonna go on to when I get into trouble the next time. I get out 13 months for the 4-year sentence. I get out, I have 3 years left on probation. Start selling drugs because McDonald's wouldn't hire me, Taco Bell, nobody. I'm like, I'm going for the lowest crap jobs. Nobody's hiring me. So I start selling drugs. I'm selling. My oldest brother, he has life in prison right now. And I told him, I said, you either going to teach me how to sell drugs or I'm going to get out here and do it myself because I need to make money somehow. I need to make a living. I need to be a man and stand on my own 2 feet. And if you don't, whatever happens to me happens. And then so I forced his hand basically, and I started selling drugs, selling crack, selling weed, and then eventually got down to what was my staple for me, would be cocaine, ecstasy, and marijuana, weed. And I sold ice, methamphetamines, all that stuff. So drug deal gone bad, 2007. I get played out of some money, trying to buy some coke. I was going out of state to get some stuff, and they were all in a drought, so I couldn't get anywhere. So associate of mine, a guy who was working for me, coach, he went and asked some girl who asked another person, and that's how we got hooked up with the guy who played us out the money. So going to go buy these drugs, and had $2,900 to buy some cocaine. The guy who I'm just met this day through coach, me and coach are there, we just met this guy, and my buddy coach is he's a white guy, he's 6'6", and the other guy who we met, Josh, he's about my height, 5'10", he's also a white guy. So we meet him, and then a big huge black dude walk out the bushes. We're at the apartment complex. He just came out of nowhere, and I was like, well, who is this? I'm like, I thought you were the guy. He said, no, this is the guy. And so immediately my antennas start going off, but my greed overtook, you know what I mean? Me wanting to make money, me missing so much money. I missed about $4,000 in like 2 days. And I'm like, I'm missing money. I need to be getting this money. I'm like, okay, so I missed this money. And now I'm very upset. And I'm like, we need to do something. So I broke my rule, which is my money doesn't leave my left hand till my product's in my right hand. You do your account, I do my account, we part ways. Well, me and the other guy, Josh, put some money in, gave it to the black guy. The black guy left. The money is gone. Josh and the black guy were friends. They knew each other. They played me out the money. So when Josh put his money in, he's going to meet up with his friend later on, get his money back, and then split my money. It didn't dawn on me until a few moments after. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. You're not going anywhere, Josh. We're going to get my money back. You know what I mean? Things went crazy. Guns come out. All this gangster shit is going on. So we're going to go get my money back now at this time. We're going to go get my money back. If I didn't, like black out just with greed and money, I would have told him when he called to go get the money to put it on speakerphone. But I wasn't thinking clearly. He called his mom. She said, I'm going to call the police. He said, Mom, a big scary black dude, I owe him this money. I'm like, we're the same size. I'm listening to this whole story, but I'm like, you know what I mean? I said, okay, just get the money. We go over there. The police are waiting for us at the Walmart. I take off running once I see the cops, and I jump in a dumpster. I hide in a dumpster after I ran out of breath. They're like, somebody pointed and said, I'm in the dumpster. And said, I'm on my phones. I called my baby mama and I called coach. I said, they set me up. They set me up. They set me up. They set me up. And then it's nighttime at this time. So I'm thinking, like, they can't see me. I'm not going to come out the trash. They're like, get on the loudspeaker. Get out the trash. Get out the trash. I'm like, I'm not getting out. Get out the trash. We're going to send the dogs in. I said, oh, okay, I'm coming out. I got phones in my hand. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I got cell phones. 07, these are flip phones. I set the phones down. I get out. Spread out like a starfish. They come put the knee on my neck. My glasses go flying. Handcuff me. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? I don't got no gun. I don't got no gun. And they arrest me, put me in a police car. Drug deal gone bad. Put me in a police car, and we leave. And now I'm in there for the guy who I was purchasing drugs with said that it was a robbery, that I robbed him for $100 when I didn't have, I was the person who got robbed and played out of my money. So I have that case. I bond out of jail on that case. I spent a couple weeks in jail, bond out of jail. I got to go re-up. I lost my job. I was working at Foot Locker, lost my job. So I'm 100% full-time drug dealer now. Again, because my little brother was the manager, so he got me that job at Foot Locker at that time. And so I'm selling drugs. I'm going to Texas, going to Philadelphia, going to Maryland. I'm doing all this stuff. And I eventually end up getting arrested with a backpack full of drugs, coke, weed, pills, have a little bit of money on me, all of that stuff. Now, then the police conducted an illegal search and seizure. I didn't know at the time the law about search and seizure. I didn't know the legalities of a search or any of that. And that arrest led me to what would be the 121 years. So before then, I had the drug deal gone bad case, which is a robbery, and now I got the other case, the trafficking case, the trafficking cocaine and the trafficking ecstasy. So both of these cases are going simultaneously. So when I go to court, I'm going to two different judges' courtrooms, fighting this robbery case, fighting this drug case, and I went to trial in 2008 on the robbery case, which is a drug deal gone bad. And the guy, the day I got arrested, he went and told the police that I robbed him of a $100 bill. He said that he was the middleman in the drug deal, which I handed him $2,900, and he handed it to a larger black male. When it comes time for preliminary hearing, he goes to court. He says, I don't know anything about a drug deal. I was doing a favor for a friend, and I was giving this guy a ride, the black guy who was in the referee shirt, the Foot Locker shirt, giving him a ride. So that's why I say you don't waive your preliminary hearing. He's told two different stories at this point. Then when he gets to trial, he told a third different story. But if I just went to trial, I wouldn't have had that narrative from preliminary hearing. So all we would have had is his police report testimony and his then trial testimony. And when you show that you said something different here, then you said, oh, you don't know anything about a drug deal here. Then you said that you picked me up over there and I drove my own car to the scene, and all these different lies are coming out. And inconsistencies is what I learned how to fight my case and what to write down, because I knew what he was saying, it wasn't adding up and it wasn't the truth. And I knew that I was wrong. I had finally accepted, okay, I was selling drugs. I'm in the streets doing all this stuff. I know I was wrong. Okay. It wasn't the right thing to be doing. But the legalities of the search on one case, and the fact that this guy, me and him it was a black guy and a white guy at Walmart. And he told the police that he was the middleman in a drug deal. We both should be arrested for conspiracy to purchase narcotics.
Right.
But only the black guy went to jail that day. After he went and told the police that, he said, hey, we were selling drugs. He gave me the money. I got the police reports. Matter of fact, I should pull one out if I go find it and pull it out, because I use that when I do public speakings and stuff, but it's all online. All my whole cases are online. So, but on the drug deal, anyway, all white jury on that robbery case, not guilty. All white jury, 2008. The DA office was pissed. They were so pissed at me because they offered me 15 years. The judge, she's like, talked before we went to trial, telling my attorney, oh, did he offer him the 15 years? 15 years is better than life, Mr. Baxter. I'm handcuffing oranges in the courthouse, and I said, I'm not guilty. I'm yelling at the judge, I'm not guilty. And she was like, slamming books on her desk. Boom. Oh, he's first up on my docket next month for trial. He's first up. Oh. Go back next month. She passed me again. Next month, passed me again. For a whole year until 2008.
And was she doing that? So you waiting? So you're staying in jail, basically? Is she doing that?
Yeah, because the longer people stay in jail, the more frustrated, the more beat down, the more disheartened, and the more they're just tired of, okay. Let me go ahead and just, what's the deal? What deal do you have for me? Because I was in the max pod. I'm in there with the robbers, the murderers, the rapists, the drug dealers, everybody whose bond was 100,000 up to the millions. Like, everybody went to trial before me. It was 6 trials before mine. Mine was the 7th. Everybody got a life sentence. Oh, everybody who went to trial got a life sentence. So I watched that over again. Every single person got a life sentence. Drug dealing, child pornography, everybody got a life sentence. You know what I mean? And so, and murder, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say somebody deserves it or whatever, but some crime, you took a life and they took your life. But yeah, everybody got a life sentence. And then I was next in line, and I had an all-white jury. And my attorney, the paid lawyer I had, he told me to sign 15 years at preliminary. He told me, I said, I told you I didn't do this. We discussed it. We went over everything. He said, I know, but Tulsa juries are iffy. If you go to trial and you're, what did he say? He said, and the jury comes back anything less than an hour in deliberation, it's not good. Once they start taking their time to discussing and people are, arguing back and forth, that's good. They came back in 45 minutes. And he was like, he had his head down. When I walked in the hallway to meet him, because they would escort me out and put me in a holding cell during the recess and all that stuff. And he had his head down. When I came back, he was like, I told you. Then they said, not guilty. What? He was shocked. Shook my hand. You should be a lawyer. You was right. I was wrong. I said, look here, man. I started crying after I got found not guilty, because I knew at that moment, the entire time, that the district attorney knew I wasn't guilty. I didn't take a dime from that boy. And she still tried to give me a life sentence. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury were recommending life. So it was terrible, man. Then the trafficking case, I was caught dead to rights. You know what I mean? I was dead wrong. My tag was expired, license suspended, backpack full of drugs in the car. And what saved me, is God blessed me, is that I was parked on private property in front of a business in between the yellow lines, and it was illegal for them to conduct that search.
And when you say in between the yellow lines, you mean like in a parking space, right?
Yeah, I was in the parking space.
So explain the illegal search, and well, I think there's 6 things you mentioned, right?
Yeah. So every search without a warrant is illegal.
Wait, hold on. So the 121 years was specifically for the trafficking of drugs in the backpack?
Yes.
And that's what they found in your car?
Correct.
And you used what you're about to explain next. You used one of these 6 things to get your whole case 100% dismissed.
Well, it was all of these 6 things that because the police can use these things to make any charge stick on you. So you have to be outside of these 6 exceptions.
Okay.
If you're outside of these 6 exceptions, then that search is illegal unless they have a warrant. Any search let me a cleaner way to state it is any search without a warrant is illegal unless they fall within these 6 guidelines. These are exceptions to the warrant requirement. So it's the Fourth Amendment gives us that right here in the United States, because you're out there in the fun in the sun. The Fourth Amendment, and I need to just read that to you. We have the right to be free from all unreasonable searches and seizures. Oh, let me pull out. Where's my little? Let me find my little pocket.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
You got one?
I do go. I brought it with me to. I'm over here in Bali.
Your pocket Constitution.
Let's see. I got some yoga books, and then I got right under that the old pocket.
Yeah, that's the same one I got. Where is mine? I'm gonna be real upset I don't find it. I didn't. I think I put it in my jacket pocket. But yeah, so just read that Fourth Amendment for us.
The Fourth Amendment is the right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
They have to be specific in the place to be searched, right? They kind of broaden that by saying, oh, we're going to search this house and put an address on it, but they're supposed to have specific information stating that, oh, the drugs are in the back left bedroom underneath the dresser, or in a safe, or in the closet. That's where they'll find the gun or whatever it is they're going to be looking for. It's supposed to be specific because you just read that. I mean, and that's what it states.
This is United States. This isn't state specific.
Exactly.
This is the whole country.
That's the Constitution. You know what I mean? And so that's what, but they try to broaden it by just putting the warrant, the address to the residence for the warrant and leaving it at that. They put the address to the residence. Well, there's certain case laws that I don't have right now, but we have to look up that state that that's to search the inside of the dwelling. You cannot search a car that's in the driveway. You know what I mean? Because you were searching the inside of this address. You weren't searching the car. You need a separate warrant to search that car that's not inside that house, inside that address, because the car's on the outside. So there's different things to help protect people on that, but every search without a warrant is illegal. Now, the only way that a search without a warrant is legal is that you give them consent. If you're a police officer or you're at home, that Constitution you just held up was a bag of meth, and you let me come in your house. I say, hey, can I search? And you give me consent, and you got it sitting on the table. You gave me consent to search. So I don't need to get a warrant because you already gave me consent.
So number one, consent. Number one is consent.
Number one.
Allowing the officer to search your car, allowing the officer to search your house, etc.
Person.
Yep.
Your house, anything, yeah. When they ask you, can I search? Say, no, you cannot search. You need a warrant.
Right. Okay.
Do you have anything to hide? No, I don't. But you don't have any right to violate my Fourth Amendment. So no, I will not succumb to any search. Bada bing, no. So number one, search. Consent. There we go, right there. Consent. Number two is the plain view and plain smell. Now, if let's say you're driving, I pull you over. I'm a cop now. I pull you over, and you just got a Mac 11 gun sitting in your lap, and you got a pound of cocaine. I don't need a search warrant, or it is not a search because it's out in plain view, so that nobody can say searching. You have to overturn something, you have to lift up something, you have to open something. That's a search. You have to take an action. If you just go like this and just look left and right and it's right there, that's not a search. Like, I see those trees behind you with the leaves and everything. If I'm not searching to see that it's right there in plain view. Now, they extended the plain view to include plain smell. Now, that's very hard to prove that because they can come and lie and say, oh, I smelled burnt marijuana. They were smoking in the car when I rolled down the window and asked for their ID and their insurance and registration. So they allow the police to include plain smell in there. Now, with the states who have legalized marijuana, is going to be a little bit more difficult. You know what I mean? Because that's state to state basis and it's still federally illegal.
Right.
But smelling marijuana has generally always been a way for them to get around the warrant requirement. Now, another way to get around the warrant requirement is a search incident to a lawful arrest. You got the Constitution on you. Let's just say that was an iPhone X and you stole it from Walmart. Now we arrest you. We're gonna arrest you. We're gonna search you. You've been lawfully arrested. You broke the law, so it was lawful to arrest you. So now it's lawful to search you. Search incident to a lawful arrest. We'll search your Now this search, the scope of this search is very small, but they try to expand that scope of this search and include stuff which can trip a lot of people up. And this is what they try to do in my case. They arrested me for driving with a suspended license, correct? So if you're going to do a search, because I was driving with a suspended license, you can only search for items that are pertaining to that arrest, which would mean something that is pertaining to my license being suspended. What will you find during your search that was gonna what are you gonna find during your search that's going to help prove that my license is more suspended? There's nothing you're gonna find. I gave you my license. It said on my ID it says it's good, but when you ran it in the system, it shows you that my license is suspended. So therefore, you already know it's suspended, and anything beyond the scope of that search is illegal. So if I arrest you at Walmart for stealing this iPhone, now we pat you down, we search you to see if you have any weapons on you, anything sharp that you could try to break out of these cuffs and escape or harm somebody, harm either the police or any other, citizen around. Or do you have any do you have some headphones in your pocket? Do you have some Beats by Dre over here in your sock? Do you have anything pertaining to this phone? Because that's what the scope of the search is, of what you stole.
Right.
A charger piece or anything in the immediate area that you are just now. If you're standing in this location, it will be anywhere like basically within your wingspan that you could have, try to hide some evidence that's in your immediate area. They can't go to a whole nother aisle and try to find something else. Oh, it looked like somebody placed this Xbox over here by the cereal.
Right.
Well, we're going to put it on him. No, you can't do that. So that's search incident to a lawful arrest. I hope I'm making it clear, man. Let me know.
Yeah,
You're looking like,
No. This is super clear. Super clear.
Okay. Now, Terry versus Ohio is another Supreme Court case. Let me see if I can look that up really fast. This is a stop and frisk case, but it's Terry versus Ohio. Anybody can Google that. Terry versus Ohio Supreme Court case. And this makes the stop and frisk legal. Stop and frisk is legal to a certain extent. If there's an incident that happened, and the police don't know who committed this crime. Let's say there's a shooting going on. There was a big fight outside. Everybody's outside talking about it, videotaping with their phones, record, but nobody knows who did it. So the police is there on the scene. They're questioning everybody. Now, while questioning people, they have to protect themselves. They have to protect the general public. And to do so, they will, whoever they're talking to, hey, all right, man, I'm going to ask you a few questions, but first I got to do a light pat-down search. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're the person who shot over here. I don't know if you're somebody trying to help. I don't know if you were with the person who was shooting and you got a gun on you too. I don't know. They can do a light exterior pat-down search. They are not allowed to go into your pockets. That is too intrusive. That is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. It says people should be free from unreasonable searches in their persons, on your person, in your places, in your papers, your effects. That means even going through text messages and emails, that's your papers and your effects. They didn't have it way back then, but update, fast forward to now, they cannot search your phone, go through your texts and your emails. Just because they can't do it doesn't mean they don't do it.
Exactly.
They do it. Yeah, just because they're not allowed to doesn't mean that they're not going to. They're doing this every day. They're lying on the police reports. They're changing it. They're cutting off the body cams. You know, they're doing all types of stuff. Right. And so, but that's Terry versus Ohio, stop and frisk. Now, the inventory search, the impound search, if you're pulled over, whoop, whoop, on the side of the road, and they decide that, dang, okay, we're going to impound the car. They can take you to jail. They don't have to take you to jail. They can just be like, man, you're going to walk home. We're taking the car in because you didn't get the license tag up to date. And so we're impounding it for taxes due to state and whatever else they want to charge you with. But before we do that, we're going to search the vehicle just so that we can protect ourselves, so you can't later on sue us, say you had your grandma's $10,000 diamond necklace in the trunk and you owe us this money at the time you want to sue the city or sue the state or whatever. So they are supposed to be searching to protect you from any incidents of theft by an officer and write down all the stuff. And you're supposed to be present during that inventory search. But they will do this search looking for drugs, looking for guns, and even if they don't find anything, they may find a little baggie. I got a client who I just got the other day. He always put grapes in a bag for his son, grapes and cookies in little sandwich bags. And they took the bag that had the cookies. I guess his son had ate cookies like 2 days before, and they charged him with paraphernalia. just to get something on him, charged him with paraphernalia because you got a bag and it got little crumbs in the bottom.
Oh my God.
They couldn't charge him with, yeah. And so I said, okay, well, let's work on this case. So we're going to see where that's going to go. But that's the impound inventory search. And the sixth one, what we talked about was exigent circumstances. And exigent circumstances is an emergency. And so this one is kind of difficult. And so I wanted to pull up some actual legal documentation and read it to the audience about this exigent circumstance.
Beautiful.
And so I got my trusty Georgetown Criminal Law Journal. Bada bing, a lot of good science in here, a lot of knowledge. And so exigent circumstances include imminent destruction of evidence, a threat to the safety of law enforcement officers or the general public. So exigent circumstances include imminent destruction of evidence. If they believe that you're going to destroy evidence, like immediately, or a threat to the safety of the law enforcement officer or the general public, that constitute an exigent circumstance where they do not have to have a warrant at that time. So let me give a U.S. Supreme Court case. Okay, Warden versus Hayden, U.S. Supreme Court case. This is an older case. I'm going to give an older one and a newer updated one. But this set like precedent over this, 1967. Exigent circumstances justified warrantless entry of house to search for armed robbery suspect and weapons because delay would endanger lives of officers and citizens. So they're saying the armed robbery suspect was in the home. He was already a suspect, and they had corroborating substantial information that the person was in the home with the weapon, and any delay, like waiting on a warrant, would endanger the lives of the other people in there, and the officer standing on the outside could have got shot through the window or something like that. So that made it an exigent circumstance because of the violence of the situation, because robbery is a violent crime and they're talking about weapons, and you know what I mean? So that is a 1967 case. That's a U.S. Supreme Court case. That is Warden, W-A-R-D-E-N, V. Hayden, Hayden, U.S. Supreme Court case. Then there's another case I wanted to share with you. It's a 2009 case. Let's see here. This was also a Supreme Court case. It's Mitch, M-I-C-H, versus Fisher, F-I-S-H-E-R. And exigent circumstances justify warrantless entry of house because officers saw recently injured person and heard violent noises coming from inside. So this is the parameters that they're allowing them to have. And so exigent circumstances is really seeming like, from those who are reading, pertaining to entering into a home without a warrant. If you see somebody who was recently injured and you know what the situation is, you know the crime, and more people could get injured while you're waiting for a warrant, so that's like, damn, exit. We can't wait. We can't wait. We got to get in there. We can't wait.
And this and basically this framework is exactly what you use to prove that them finding the backpack without a warrant didn't fall into any of these six stipulations, and therefore, to be clear, right, the sentence for 120 years, that case was dismissed.
Dismissed. Illegal search and seizure. Number one, I never gave consent. Number two, they didn't see anything in plain view or plain smell. Number three, the search incident to a lawful arrest was beyond the scope because you were searching past. There's nothing you're going to find to prove more suspension of my license. So therefore, that search incident, once I was arrested, I was in the back of the police car, so that was no longer my immediate area. They can only search you in your immediate area. So my immediate area is the police car. So come search the back of your own car and try to find what you're looking for. Terry versus Ohio, stop and frisk. It wasn't that type of situation, so that didn't apply. Impound search. They impounded my car illegally off of private property, because you cannot impound a car off of private property as an officer without the owner of the property saying the car is a trespass or a nuisance. Get it off my property. Then they have the right to impound the vehicle.
That's an interesting.
Then, yeah. So you know what I mean. So they just decided, we're just going to impound the car. This is a business. They didn't ask the owner of the business. It's like, I got an old, you know what I mean? I got an old Chevy in my driveway. I work on it every weekend and the tag is expired. I've been working on it for 5-6 years. It's a, you know what I mean, a love project that I'm trying to do for a car show or whatever that I may never ever get to. It's just a dream of mine. And they're like driving about, oh, the tag is expired. I'm going to impound this vehicle. They can't just come to your house and just take your stuff.
Right.
And that private property being a business, they can't go on their property and take their stuff either.
And then lastly, there was no imminent threat to anyone regarding the search of your car, right? That would be the final.
There was no exigence. There was no danger because me being the suspect, I'm already detained, arrested, and put in a police car. There was no danger for me to harm anybody else, a police officer, or any evidence that could be later found in the car. Now, there's one thing that they do give the police. It's called the good faith exception. And that good faith exception is if through legal means the search would have been inevitable for them to find it, right? Like if, let's say they did the impound search on my car and I say, you guys did the impound search of my car illegally because you didn't ask the owner of the property to impound the vehicle until afterwards. You know what I mean? And so it's still illegal because you're supposed to ask them first, like, hey, do you want me to impound this car? And they say, yeah, go ahead and impound it. And then you do your search.
And then they find it, and then your case potentially wouldn't have been dismissed based on that reason, correct?
Exactly, because of the good faith exception is that it would have been inevitable because with good faith of them doing their job, blah, blah, blah. But when they just decide, oh, I'm above the law, I can do what I want to do, they're in the wrong. When they decide they can just do what they want to do, I don't have to follow the law and ask, to impound the car or ask for consent to search or ask. If we have to follow the law, they have to follow the law.
So, to be clear, how long did it take from that happening to the dismissal?
I got arrested August 15, 2007, and the case was dismissed August, I think it's 28th, 2010.
So three
But I was
years
still in, yeah, but I was still incarcerated on the on a gun
on the
charge.
other
So
charge.
I did 5 years. I did 5 years, 3 months total on that full
So
incarceration.
when you got this dismissed, you still did like maybe 2 more years. I
Exactly.
see. Understood. And just maybe this is like too much of a hypothetical, but if you didn't have that previous charge, right? Would you have been still
hmm
awaiting jail for those 3 years in jail for this case to have like, or would you been able to bail
If
out
I didn't,
potentially?
if I had never got in trouble 2002,
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
charge, no, I wouldn't. I would have got out the same day that that case got dismissed in 2010. So it would have only been 3 years because that previous charge is what led me to the second gun charge, which was possession of a firearm after a former conviction of a felony. So if I wasn't already a felon, then that would have just been simple possession of a firearm. And in Oklahoma, that's a misdemeanor, and I would have already been out.
Would this, do they have the three strike law there?
They 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 utilize it in a sense. It's not just straight the three strike law, but they utilize if I was already a felon from my first time when I took the gun from a security guard. So when they charged me with the robbery case, the drug deal that went bad, robbery in Oklahoma carries 5 to life. Now, with a prior conviction, it automatically carries 10 to life. It doubles your minimum. Now, if I had another conviction like in between there, then I would have, and they call this your second page. So on my second page, I would have 2 felonies instead of the 1. Then it would have been 20 to life because it doubles, boom, 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 boom. So I mean, so it's like,
Wow.
and everything. Oklahoma is real bad. We have the highest incarceration rate of women in the nation, and we just passed for the highest incarceration rate for men. Way to go, Oklahoma. And we have we're 48 in test scores in school for kids test score. And so, you know, the school to prison pipeline is a serious thing.
You got a lot of work to do. So it just, how can people find you? Like, what are you up to since? And yeah.
And find me here on Instagram, Negro Spiritual 121. No underscores, no space, no nothing. Just Negro Spiritual 121. I started Baxter and Baxter Legal Life Coaching. I got out of jail and got out of prison, and I mean, it's hard to get a job. And so I know the law now. So now me knowing the law, that's the skill I have. I went to school to get certified. So now I graduated with honors from paralegal school, college, with my associate's degree. Now I'm going to get the bachelor's and go on to law school. And so I've worked in the public defender's office here. I worked in Tate Law Firm. I worked in Arbitral Law, and I'm in the courthouse 4 or 5 times a week at different attorneys' offices with my specific clients for Baxter and Baxter Legal Life Coaching. Everything I did for myself to get me out of the mess I put myself into is what I do for my clients. I write down all the questions to prove the lies on the cases and the inconsistencies and show, you know what I mean? Everybody makes mistakes, makes bad judgment, makes bad errors. And a lot of people here have some addiction things is what lead them to doing the things they do. But we gotta you know what I mean, we don't gotta just take somebody's whole life away, you know, especially for nonviolent crimes. Selling drugs was a nonviolent crime, and I got 121 years. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And I'm
I
and
didn't.
I'm a firm believer that like in America, like because of this, there's a process
Mm-hmm.
and even when you do wrong, if the process isn't followed, just because the officer happened to be right but not following the process, I don't believe that's okay, you know? And so I think
It's definitely
it's
not.
definitely not, and that's where, uh, like you say, like you really say, and that's interesting. And I've had my experience with police. I've sued the police. And it's totally about energizing your attorney. You know, I was always sending them stuff. I was
Yeah.
always giving them new things. I'm always like check this, look at this, look into that, you know, and getting her excited all the time, because it's easy to make it, oh, well, in my particular case, it was contingency, right? So she's trying to make me money, so she makes money. But in terms of what you're saying with criminal defense, where it's not contingency, you're just paying, or you potentially have the public defender, it's totally about supplying them with good info and keeping them, keep supplying that, basically, and doing your own homework. And I totally agree. And I think, do you provide your service for people outside of state, or?
No, not outside of Oklahoma, because I'm really, you know, I know Oklahoma law, you know, and if people, and then I'd rather, you know, be able to go to court with you. Sometimes people are scared, you know, like I'm gonna tell you, like I went to my lawyer, I lied to my lawyer first time I went to his office and visited him. I was like, okay, I didn't rob this guy at all. He's a drug deal gone bad. And I didn't have any gun. They didn't find me with no gun. I didn't have no gun. So then a week later, I came back. I was like, all right, man, let me tell you the whole truth. I didn't rob him. I told you that, and I mean, I did not rob anybody, but I did have the gun.
Right.
He said, thank you for telling me the truth and energizing him. When you're lying to them and when he go to court and look stupid in the courtroom and they pull out some new shit, you know what I mean?
Because he gave up on you. Yeah. If your lawyer gives up on you, I mean, that's it. You need him to believe you. I'm very much a believer in telling your attorney the truth. Don't waste their time, especially, you know, whether paying them or not. They can only do the best job they can do with the truth. With the lies,
with the best information. You know what I mean? But when I know when you're in the streets and you're scared to tell anybody the truth because you're doing criminal shit. So it's like you can't even tell yourself the truth. Right. You can't tell yourself the truth. You can't be like, you know, you can't. So that's the only way. You have to believe what you're saying so that somebody else will believe it. So you can't even tell yourself the truth. And it's like that. And so when all the attorneys I work with, they're like, did you get them to tell you that? They wouldn't even tell me. You know, I'm the attorney. I went to listen, you're the attorney. That's all fine and good. I'm the guy who was in the streets. Right. I'm the guy who did what I already done what they did. You know what I mean? Right. So I know. I feel that. Yeah, I know. I speak the language, and you know what I mean? I'm not going to talk a whole bunch of lawyer language above their head. And no, because I got to make it where you understand and I can present it to you so that you can read it for yourself. And I don't just tell people this and no, here it is. I printed up the documents. Here you go. Look at it, read it for yourself. You can read and comprehend just like I can read and comprehend. I'm not no smarter than you. If you have any words that you don't understand, we're gonna get the dictionary out on our phones. We're gonna define it. We're gonna read this sentence over and over again until you comprehend. That's what I do. This is me right here. Gonna be backwards, but is it gonna focus?
Oh yeah, it did. Baxter and Baxter Legal Life Coaching.
You see both Baxter?
Yeah. Dude, I love that. Wow, that's powerful. Wow.
And so, look, my dad is over here hating on me. He's like, who's the other Baxter? It's not me. I'm not helping you. I ain't working. I was like, the first Baxter you get is from 1982 to 2007. He has his expertise in criminal lifestyle. That's the first Baxter. Expertise in criminal lifestyle. That's the first picture I took when I got sentenced 121 years.
Wow, dude, I love that card. You gotta take a photo of that and send it to me so I could share it up. That's powerful.
All right, I'll send it to you. And then I got me from 2007 when I got arrested, got on my knees and prayed to God, and he started showing me the law and opening my eyes as a high school dropout. This guy from 2007 to present got his expertise in criminal law, Baxter and Baxter. And so,
Dude, as I told
that's
you,
what I'm
I'm
doing.
excited to see your journey and definitely follow
Mm-hmm.
closely. And I know like a lot of people are gonna get a lot of gems out of this because again, this isn't what happened to you is in Oklahoma, but we're talking about something that's the Constitution. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
um,
Supreme Court case laws, constitutional laws, nationwide information, man. And we'll talk more about some when we get off. If you, because you're getting my brain cells clicking right now, you're making me think like we maybe need to do like a video training, and you know what I mean, or something that we can just spread out, you know.
dude, 100%. I'm gonna try to save this and I'll
Mhm.
try to share it on like the Insta Live thing, or no, the Insta whatever highlight, and even YouTube and all that good stuff. So I'll keep you posted on that. But always a pleasure speaking with you, bro. And I'm
You
just
too,
thankful
man.
for you overcoming this crazy situation. Really, like 121
Yeah.
years is uh, overwhelming to say the least. You know what I mean? I mean,
What I missed one key thing. I didn't tell you the best part. The best, best part is the 121 year sentence got dismissed a whole year before I got sentenced. It got dismissed, illegal search and seizure. The police, the DA filed an appeal. They put the charge back on me, and that's when I learned all 6 of these things because the police came and changed the story 6 times. They said, oh, well, this is why we did it. And they was like, my lawyer's like, no. Oh, this is why we did it. No, 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 no. Went through all of these. The judge was like, whatever, I'm gonna put the case back on him. Boom, y'all go ahead along with the prosecution. See, watch, he's gonna sign that 20 years. He's gonna sign that deal. He's gonna sign. I refused to sign, went to trial, got the 121. After the case got dismissed on appeal, the judge who put the case back on me and sentenced me to 121 years under the jury's recommendation, 11 white people, 1 black woman, under the jury's recommendation. I see him, was it last year? It was either, yeah, it was last year. I saw him at the pizza parlor. And I went up to him and his wife. I'm like, hey, Judge Gillard, how you doing? His wife is all smiling like he's a celebrity. You know, like, hey, remember me? He's like, ah. I said, yeah, my name is Baxter, Richard Baxter. You remember me? He said, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Started lying right on the spot. Well, the thing with your case is the reason why I didn't dismiss when you did the
oh
motion to suppress
fuck.
the second time. Lying right on. I took a picture with him. It's in my phone, and that was October. So yeah, I got it. I can go back and get that picture. Yeah. And the best part about it is I had 2 witnesses there. A guy who owns a radio station, a buddy of mine, Bobby Eaton Show, and a guy flew from California who was a public defender for 21 years, and he's writing a book on people who were incarcerated, kind of wrongfully, and all the injustices that go on in the court system. And he came to Tulsa, and he heard about me, and he wanted to interview me, and we met the judge who incarcerated me, who violated my 4th Amendment rights, all of that stuff,
Oh my
just by happen
god.
chance, walking into one pizza shop because the other one was
Oh
closed. The
my
first one we went to
god.
was
That's
closed.
crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, it's
Some shit's just
crazy,
meant
man.
to
I
be,
can't make
right?
this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I can't make this stuff up. It's ridiculous, and it gets more intricate on how I eventually got arrested and all of that stuff. And You know what I mean? That's how I know there's a higher power, and you know what I mean? And God is working and moving and allowing me, because I had 121 years. The guy 2 doors down from me, I was in 6 Echo 204, top bunk, top floor. The guy 2 doors down from me had 500 years. Another guy, my cellie, had 50 years. Another guy down the way had 99 years. I knew a guy with life without plus 114 years. People were never going home. And I'm thinking, and everybody's like getting somebody else to work on their appeal, or they're going to the law library. Why was I chosen? You know what I mean? I'm thinking, why was I chosen to come out? I have to do this work.
Well, you did it, man,
I
and
have to.
you did the best possible job that I could imagine. Hey, this is gonna end in 1 minute.
All
But
right.
yeah, go follow him and stay tuned. So, when I share this, Instagram TV, as someone said, I'm gonna try to share it there, YouTube, all that good stuff. Send me that photo. I'll throw it on my story, and we'll stay in touch, bro.
Definitely, definitely. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate your platform. I love what you're doing, man. I thank you. Blessings,
Bro,
man.
same to you. Thanks for sharing.
All right.